The Power of Not Reacting: How to Control Your Emotions. Written by Justice O. Malcolm. Published by the Quiet Library. Introduction. Think about how much easier life would be if you could keep your cool under pressure. Envision yourself in high-pressure scenarios where you're able to keep your cool and respond rationally rather than acting on impulse. You are about to read The Power of Not Reacting: How to Control Your Emotions, a book that will teach you how to become emotionally intelligent, how to direct your reactions, and how to keep your head on straight in any situation. When you're angry or frustrated, do you ever say or do something you come to deeply regret? Everyone has. When we let our emotions control us, we could act rashly, which isn't always a good thing. Is it possible to alter it, though? Imagine for a second a world where you could control your reaction, instead of just reacting without thinking. Acquiring that priceless talent is within your reach with the help of this book. Our journey begins by understanding the importance of emotional control. Emotions are a natural and vital part of being human, but when they take the driver's seat, they can lead us astray. This book will help you recognize the triggers that spark emotional reactions and provide you with strategies to manage those emotions effectively. By gaining control over your reactions, you'll be able to handle challenges with grace and make decisions that reflect your true intentions. The first step is recognizing the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is often a knee-jerk, automatic response driven by emotion, while responding involves thoughtful consideration and deliberate action. This book will teach you how to shift from reactive to responsive behavior by cultivating self-awareness and mindfulness. You'll learn how to pause in moments of stress, giving yourself the space to choose a response that aligns with your goals and values. We will now explore mindfulness in further detail. To maintain emotional regulation, one must practice mindfulness, which is paying attention in the here and now without letting one's thoughts and feelings take over. This book provides easy-to-implement mindfulness practices that you can use every day to become more self-aware and less reactive to your feelings. Being attentive can help you get the composure and perspective you need to face any obstacle head-on. An additional effective method for dealing with emotions is breathing exercises. The physiological response to stress is to tighten up and breathe more shallowly, which in turn makes you feel even more anxious. In order to help you respond thoughtfully, reduce stress, and relax your nervous system, this book will walk you through easy breathing exercises. The book also explores the importance of understanding the root causes of your emotional reactions. Often, our most intense reactions are tied to unresolved issues or past experiences. By identifying these underlying triggers, you can address them directly, reducing their power over your emotions. This book provides exercises for uncovering and healing these emotional wounds, allowing you to respond more calmly and rationally in the future. The Power of Not Reacting provides stories of genuine people who have mastered the art of emotional regulation. Listening to their experiences will open your eyes to the value of emotional mastery and encourage you to put these lessons into practice in your own life. You'll find that your relationships, decision-making, and overall quality of life are all enhanced when you learn to control your emotions. The ability to manage your emotions is something you possess, so keep that in mind as you set out on this path. A life of calm, clarity, and meaning may be yours when you master the art of non-impulsive response. Welcome to The Power of Not Reacting: How to Control Your Emotions. Let's embark on this life-altering adventure side by side and discover the power that comes from being in control of our emotions. Imagine being in control of your emotions, not letting anger, frustration, or sadness dictate your responses. It's not just about suppressing emotions, but understanding them, regulating them, and using them wisely. You've probably been in situations where you reacted impulsively, only to regret it later. But what if you could train yourself to respond rather than react, to stay calm despite the chaos around you? Here, we will delve into a methodical approach to using non-reaction as a tool for emotional regulation, providing a fresh viewpoint on the subject. Are you prepared to go on this life-altering adventure? For more information about the ebook version of this audio, check the video description or visit thequietlibrary.com. We notice that 69% of you who listen to our video are not yet subscribed to the channel. Please help support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. Thanks for inspiring us to create more content for you. Chapter 1. Understanding Emotional Triggers. Ever wondered why certain situations or comments instantly make you angry, sad, or anxious? You're not alone. These sudden emotional reactions are often caused by what are known as emotional triggers. Understanding these triggers is the first step towards gaining control over your reactions. Emotional triggers are basically events, conversations, or even people that spark intense, often overwhelming emotions within us. They're deeply personal and are often linked to past experiences or deeply ingrained beliefs about ourselves or the world around us. For example, if you were bullied in school, a colleague's offhand remark might trigger feelings of insecurity and fear. Or if you've grown up feeling ignored, being overlooked in a conversation might trigger feelings of anger or resentment. However, it's important to remember that these emotions aren't necessarily a reflection of the present moment or reality. They're more like echoes of past experiences. Recognizing this can be incredibly freeing. It can help you understand that you're not reacting to the current situation, but rather to a memory or a fear. Understanding your emotional triggers isn't about placing blame on others. It's about gaining insight into your own emotional landscape. By becoming aware of what sets you off, you can start to take control of your reactions. You can begin to choose how you respond to your triggers rather than being at their mercy. In the face of emotional triggers, vitally, you must understand your default response, as it often happens automatically and can cloud your ability to react thoughtfully. This response, ingrained in your behavior over time, is your go-to reaction when confronted with stressors or confrontations. It's that split-second decision you make, often without thinking, as a result of feeling emotional. It's essential to recognize that these default responses aren't inherently good or bad. They're simply your conditioned reactions, and they can be changed. However, to make a change, you first need to identify what they are. Are you quick to anger? Do you retreat into silence? Perhaps you become overly pleasing, or maybe you instantly deflect and blame others. The first step is to pinpoint your automatic reactions. To identify your default response, you'll need to do a bit of introspection. Reflect on past situations where your emotions were high. What was your immediate reaction? Did you raise your voice, withdraw, or burst into tears? Remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. The goal is pure understanding. It's important not to judge yourself during this process. You're not a bad person for reacting the way you do. These responses have likely served you in some way, possibly as a protective measure. But by identifying them, you open the door to gaining more control over your emotional reactions in the future. It's a vital step in harnessing the power of not reacting. Chapter 2. Recognizing the physiological response. As you plunge deeper into your emotional responses, you'll begin to notice the physical signs that accompany them, providing further insight into this automatic process. These physiological responses may include an increased heart rate, shallow breathing, or even a sense of unease in your stomach. It's vital to understand that these physical reactions aren't just random occurrences. They're your body's way of signaling that something is stirring emotionally. Recognizing these bodily cues is like learning a new language, the language of self-awareness. It's not easy, but it's worth it. At first, you might struggle to differentiate between the physiological responses to different emotions. Don't despair, it's a process. Encourage yourself to stay patient and curious, because understanding your body's responses will arm you with the knowledge you need to manage your reactions better. This recognition phase isn't about judgment, it's about observation. As you become more familiar with your body's reactions, you'll develop a heightened sense of awareness that can be both enlightening and empowering. You'll start realizing that an accelerated heartbeat mightn't be just about fear, it could be excitement too. Or that lump in your stomach mightn't be about apprehension, it could be anticipation. Chapter 3. Creating a pause button. Harnessing the power of a mental pause button can be your greatest ally in managing emotional reactions. This pause button isn't a physical entity, but a mental construct that you can create, modify, and use to your advantage. It's all about creating a momentary break in the chain of thoughts or emotions that might lead you to an instant, often unconsidered, reaction. Picture this pause button as a stop sign that pops up in your mind when you start feeling overwhelmed or reactive. It's your brain's cue to stop, take a moment, and reassess the situation. This might seem like a simple concept, but it's often easier said than done. Don't be disheartened if you find it challenging to pause as your emotions flare. It's a skill that takes time and practice to master. When you first start using your pause button, you may only manage to catch yourself after you've reacted. That's okay. The important thing is you're becoming more aware of your emotional responses and starting to question them. Over time, you'll get better at hitting pause before you react. Breathing techniques can help calm your mind and body, especially when you're on the verge of an emotional reaction. It's not magic, but science. Your breath is intimately connected to your nervous system, and by manipulating it, you can shift your emotional state. Let's explore a popular technique called the 4-7-8 breathing method. This technique involves inhaling for 4 seconds, holding it for 7 seconds, and exhaling for 8 seconds. By doing this, you're taking more oxygen in and stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes a state of calmness. When you're in an emotionally charged state, your body goes into a fight-or-flight mode. Your breathing becomes shallow and fast, clouding your judgment. By consciously changing your breathing pattern, you're effectively reversing these physical reactions, giving you the chance to think clearly and respond, rather than react impulsively. The more you practice these breathing techniques, the more natural they'll become. Eventually, you'll find yourself using them instinctively whenever you're in a challenging situation. So next time you feel the heat of anger or the sting of hurt, pause, breathe, and regain control. It's a small step, but a crucial one in the journey towards emotional mastery. These breathing techniques offer another layer of control over your emotions, and that's the power of not reacting. Chapter 4. Mindfulness in Everyday Life. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine can profoundly transform the way you respond to life's ups and downs, making it a vital tool in your emotional control toolkit. It's not just about meditation or yoga, it's about being present in each moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Consider, for example, when you're having a conversation, are you genuinely listening or are you waiting for your turn to speak? By paying full attention to what the other person is saying, you're practicing mindfulness. You're not reacting impulsively, but rather you're responding thoughtfully and constructively. This simple act can go a long way in improving your relationships and reducing stress. The same applies when you're eating. Rather than mindlessly munching away, try to savor each bite. Notice the texture, the taste, the aroma. By doing so, you're not only enhancing your dining experience, but also promoting better digestion and preventing overeating. Mindfulness can also be practiced during routine activities like washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or even walking. Instead of letting your mind wander, focus on the sensation of the water on your hands, the bristles against your gums, or the ground under your feet. This can bring a sense of peace and calm, making you less reactive to external circumstances. Chapter 5. Developing self-awareness skills. Building upon the practice of mindfulness, developing self-awareness skills becomes an integral part of managing reactions and cultivating a more balanced life. It's about becoming the observer of your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This self-observation isn't about judgment or criticism. It's rather a gentle and compassionate inquiry into one's own inner workings. When you practice self-awareness, you start to notice patterns. Maybe you react sharply when you're tired, or perhaps you're more anxious when you're hungry. These are windows into your behavior, opportunities to understand your triggers and to cultivate a more balanced response. It's not about suppressing your reactions, but about learning to navigate them more effectively. Developing self-awareness also means acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses. It requires honesty and courage to face your limitations. Yet it's through this acknowledgement that you can begin to make changes to grow and to develop a more balanced and satisfying life. Developing self-awareness is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. It's a journey of self-discovery that can be challenging but also incredibly rewarding. Sometimes having an objective and empathetic listener, like a counselor or a coach, can provide valuable insights and guidance. Traversing the sea of emotions, labeling and accepting them becomes a crucial step in managing reactions. It's not just about identifying your emotions, but also acknowledging them, even the uncomfortable ones. This process allows you to understand your emotional patterns and their triggers, thereby gaining control over your reactions. The first thing to do is to recognize your emotions as they come. Are you feeling angry, sad, frustrated, or anxious? Don't shy away from these feelings. Instead, name them, say them out loud. or jot them down. This act of labeling creates a psychological distance between you and the emotion, enabling you to observe it rather than being consumed by it. Acceptance follows labeling. Acceptance, though, doesn't mean resignation or complacency. Rather, it's about acknowledging that these emotions are part of you, and they have a purpose. They're signals telling you something about your environment, your situation, or your inner state. Recognizing that your emotions, even the negative ones, are there for a valid reason helps you to accept them. Remember, accepting your emotions doesn't mean you have to act on them. You're allowed to feel angry without lashing out, to feel sad without sinking into despair. Acceptance simply provides the clarity to understand these feelings, lessening the power they've over your reactions. Labeling and accepting emotions is a skill that takes practice, but with time and patience, you'll find that this process can lead to profound personal growth and improved emotional control. It's a pivotal step in harnessing the power of not reacting. Chapter 6: Reframing. Negative thoughts. After mastering the art of labeling and accepting emotions, it's time to tackle another essential skill: reframing your negative thoughts. This mental exercise requires you to consciously choose a positive or neutral interpretation over a negative one. It's about transforming your perspective to see situations from a different, more empowering angle. Consider this: you're stuck in traffic and you're late for a meeting. The frustration surges and you think, "This always happens to me. Why do I have such bad luck?" This is a negative thought process that can spiral out of control, leading to heightened stress and anxiety. However, by reframing, you might think instead, "This traffic gives me time to relax and listen to my favorite podcast before the meeting." Reframing isn't about denying reality or avoiding negativity. It's about widening your viewpoint, acknowledging the existence of different perspectives and choosing the one that serves you best. Negativity can limit your potential and rob you of the joy in your life. By reframing, you're not only changing your thoughts, but also your emotional response to situations. Often the world isn't as you see it, but as you interpret it. Reframing provides a way to shift that interpretation to a more positive or neutral one, which can be incredibly liberating. It's about controlling what you can, your thoughts and emotions, and letting go of what you can't. This is the true power of not reacting, and it's a skill that can profoundly improve your emotional well-being. Chapter 7: Practicing Empathy and Compassion. While mastering the art of reframing your negative thoughts gives you control over your emotions, practicing empathy and compassion allows you to extend that control in understanding and responding to the emotions of others. These twin virtues, empathy and compassion, are the gateways to emotional intelligence, enabling you to connect with others on a deeper level. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, isn't an innate skill. It's something you can develop like a muscle. Start by actively listening. When someone shares their feelings, don't just hear the words. Listen for the emotions behind them. Validate those emotions, even if you wouldn't feel the same way in that situation. Remember, it's not about you, it's about them. Compassion, on the other hand, goes a step further. It's not just understanding someone's pain, but wanting to alleviate it. To cultivate compassion, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Imagine what it's like to be them, to feel their pain, their joy, their frustration. It's essential to remember that practicing empathy and compassion doesn't mean you're responsible for fixing others' emotions. Your role is to understand, validate, and share in their emotional experience. This practice can help you respond rather than react to emotional situations, giving you greater control over your own emotions and interactions. Chapter 8: Taking Responsibility for Reactions. In your journey towards emotional intelligence, owning your reactions is a critical step, as it empowers you to manage not just your emotions, but also the way you express them. Recognizing that you're the one in control of your reactions, not the situation or the person who might have triggered them, is key to developing emotional stability. This is a vital necessity, but it's a journey worth taking. Think about your usual reactions to different situations. Are they truly serving you? Often we react impulsively, driven by instinct or habit, without considering whether our response is beneficial or destructive. You have the power to change this. By acknowledging that your reactions are your responsibility, you can begin to choose responses that align with your values and goals. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding them, processing them, and then deciding how best to express them. It's about learning to pause before reacting, creating a gap where choice resides. This pause allows you to respond rather than react, to choose understanding over judgment and patience over frustration. Taking responsibility for your reactions also involves accepting the consequences of your actions. If your reactions have caused harm, making amends is crucial, and making amends where possible. This not only helps to mend relationships, but also reinforces your commitment to self-improvement. Chapter 9. Building Emotional Resilience. Building emotional resilience, your armor against life's challenges, requires a deep understanding of your emotions and a commitment to navigate through them rather than around. It's about developing a robust emotional immune system that can withstand stress, adversity, and hardship. The ability to bounce back and recover from emotional setbacks is vital for maintaining your mental health and overall well-being. Firstly, let's recognize that emotional resilience isn't about avoiding or suppressing your feelings. On the contrary, it's about acknowledging them, understanding their origins, and learning how to manage them effectively. You can't control the waves, but you can learn how to surf. Secondly, emotional resilience is about flexibility and adaptability. Life doesn't always go as planned, and that's okay. It's how you react to these unexpected changes that matters. Can you adapt, adjust, and find a way to thrive, even when things don't go your way? Finally, building emotional resilience involves cultivating a positive mindset. This doesn't mean you have to be cheerful all the time. It means you're able to hold on to hope and optimism, even in the face of adversity. It's about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. Another key strategy in bolstering your emotional resilience is learning to forgive quickly, a step that's often challenging, yet incredibly liberating. It's not about dismissing the wrong or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about freeing yourself from the heavy burden of resentment and anger that weighs you down. When you hold on to grudges, you're not punishing the other person, you're punishing yourself. Your mind becomes a battleground of negative emotions, draining your energy and focus. But when you choose to forgive, you regain control. You're not forgiving for their sake, but for your own peace of mind. To master forgiveness, start by acknowledging the hurt. It's okay to feel wronged, it's a natural reaction. But don't let these feelings fester. Reflect on the situation objectively, without letting emotions cloud your judgment. Ask yourself, is holding on to this grudge benefiting you in any way? Then, make a conscious decision to let go. It's not easy and it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes, including you. Understanding this can make forgiveness feel less like a concession and more like a gift of kindness to yourself. Lastly, practice empathy. Try to see things from their perspective. This doesn't mean you're justifying their actions, but merely understanding them. This shift in perspective can be a powerful catalyst for forgiveness. Chapter 11. Letting go of ego and pride. Shedding the weight of your ego and pride can profoundly transform your emotional landscape, making you more receptive, empathetic, and resilient. Ego and pride often serve as a protective armor, defending against perceived threats and vulnerabilities. However, they can also become barriers, preventing you from acknowledging your mistakes and obstructing your ability to connect with others on a deeper level. Letting go of ego and pride isn't about denying your self-worth or potential. It's about establishing a healthier, more balanced perspective of yourself in relation to others. It's about recognizing that you're not always right, that you're not infallible, and that it's okay to be vulnerable and wrong sometimes. You're human after all. Begin by becoming more self-aware. Notice when your ego or pride is taking control of your reactions. Are you defending yourself unnecessarily? Are you refusing to accept feedback or criticism? Are you insisting on having the last word? These are clear indicators that your ego and pride are in the driver's seat. Next, cultivate humility. Humility isn't about being meek or submissive, but about recognizing your place in the grand scheme of things. You're important, but so is everyone else. Your opinions matter, but so do others. Finally, practice empathy. Put yourself in others' shoes and try to understand their perspectives. This can help you become less defensive and more open to different viewpoints. Letting go of ego and pride is a continuous journey, not a one-time event. It requires patience, humility, and most importantly, a willingness to change. But the rewards: improved relationships, better self-control, and increased emotional intelligence make the effort worthwhile. Chapter 12. Cultivating Gratitude Daily. In your journey towards emotional tranquility, cultivating gratitude daily becomes an invaluable tool that can dramatically enhance your outlook on life. It's not just about saying thank you more often. It's about truly feeling thankful for the big and small things that make up your existence. This appreciation can create a buffer against negative emotions and reactions, helping you gain control over your emotional responses. Having gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the negative aspects of life. Instead, it's about finding a balance and acknowledging that even unpleasant experiences can hold valuable lessons. When you're faced with difficulties, try to find something you can be grateful for amidst the chaos. This shift in perspective can help you approach challenges with a more positive mindset, reducing the likelihood of knee-jerk emotional reactions. To cultivate gratitude, it's helpful to make it a daily practice. You might keep a gratitude journal where you jot down a few things each day that you're thankful for. Over time, you'll find that this practice helps you to become more grateful.